Hi guys, welcome to Tabletop Wargames and welcome to part 2 of the container build. So in this episode I'm just going to go through the tools you need, and then I've already pre-clipped out some of the basic parts that we're going to use as well. So we're going to try and follow our plan as best as we can, and yeah, I'll see you in a bit. So guys, welcome back. So here is just a rough, well, this is the rough things that I will use to build one of these container shops. I've already taken some that doesn't work pre-video, so I've clipped out the container, I've clipped out the canopies and some more odds and sods, and then I've also grabbed the battery pack and the LEDs as well for the bit when we get to that bit. So basically the basic tools you're going to need is a set of clippers. We're going to need a razor saw, we're going to need a hobby knife, we're going to need some emery boards, or I just use nail files that you get from Asda, just cheap ones. Need a pin vise, I've got this here just in case we do need it. Then you need some decent super glue. I mean, you can use the pound shop stuff if that's what you got, but I prefer to use a branded stuff. I use the Jarvis stuff because it just seems to hold better. You need a decent plastic glue, I use the Revell, and obviously we need our plan as well. I've also got some activator here for the super glue just to speed things up a little bit as well. So what I'm going to do in this video is you'll probably see me speed up the building parts, and then I'll chat about once I get to certain stages where I'll stop the video and chat about what I've done and things like that. So yeah guys, let's get cracking and I'll see you in a bit. So guys, we're going to build the basic parts of the container at the minute, just to give us our basic shape. I'm just quickly unblocking my super glue because it's all blocked up, but yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to glue the bottom and the top on using a bit of plastic glue in here, and then just to speed things up, that what I like to do is just run a little bit of super glue all the way along here like so, just so that we can speed up this build process a little bit more. So what I do is that will go in there like so, we'll line up the edges, and then that should hold, and then what we do is we take our activator, give that a little bit of a spray, blow on it, and then that is already stuck there like so. What I like to do next is, so going by the drawing, we're having the closed end this side, so just to help shape this, I'm going to glue this piece in now, and then finally we're going to do the same on the top. I'm going to just cover the little tabs with plastic glue so that we get a solid bond. We'll cover this bit here like so, and then we'll do the same again with super glue along this edge here, again just to speed up the process. You don't have to use super glue, you can just use plastic glue if you want to, but because I'm doing this for the video, I thought it'd be a bit better to just speed things up just that little bit and use a bit of super glue. So activate, go. There we have the basic construction of where we need to be, so we don't need to add anything else to this now. What we're going to go into now is we're going to cut out these sections here. So what you're going to need is you're going to need your hobby saw. So as we decided on, or as I decided in the last video, we're going to cut out these two sections here. So all we're going to do is use our hobby knife. I'm going to have to hold this flat down. I know it's going to be difficult to see, but I take the tip of the hobby saw and I'm just running it up and down that top edge. If I'll show you there, just that edge there, like so, and basically add a bit of pressure, and we'll do that on all four sides of this bit, and it should just pop out, because it's not very thin plastic, so just a couple of passes and you can see there that the blade's already gone through. So I'll do this bit off camera and then we'll be right back. So once you've cut them out, you should end up with something like this. By the way guys, never throw these away because these come in handy to cover up things and bits and pieces, so chuck these in your bits box, and yeah, you'll definitely look back at them. So then what I like to do now is I take the back of my hobby knife and just like to clean up the back of these so that you've got something nice and clean. So I'm just running it up and down the edge like so. Just remember to be careful, guys, with your hobby knives. And that's it. That's the basic front of the shop. So now we'll just test fit on this on here. So you can see you've got the basic shape of the shop. So now what we're going to do is we won't glue this on just yet, because this will stay as a sub-assembly, just so that we can paint the interior of this as well, and then add the LEDs and that as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'll show you how I add the LEDs, and just a quick tutorial on where I put them and how to do it. So see you in a bit. Right guys, so to LED up, all we're going to do is put a single LED in the center of the container here. The parts I'm using is like a button cell battery case. It's got the wires already attached, and it's got conveniently a switch here on the side that you can switch on and off. And all this takes is I want to say a CR123 button cell, I think. And that's it. So it's nice and easy to change. You're going to need 2 crates, because I'm going to use these to hide the battery pack. You're going to need an LED. I was going to go with the white one, but I'm going to go with the red one, just to change it up a little bit. And then tools you're going to need is clippers. You're going to need a pin vise. You're going to need your knife, and you're going to need your hobby saw as well. So right, all we're going to do first is we're going to modify these boxes. I've already cut one a little bit, so all we need to do here is take your hobby saw, cut down the back of the boxes, because basically we're going to cut out this section here on this one. So once you've cut down the sides there, just use your snips like so, and then we're just going to cut to that corner and just clip this out as best we can. As I say, just clean it up a little bit so it looks something like that. So we're cutting it out. So the idea is that this battery box is just going to hopefully squeeze in there like so, and then we can hide everything inside there. And we're going to use 2 of these like side to side like that, and that'll be completely hidden like so. So I'll be back in a minute once I've cut the other one out. So once you've cut both of these out, I've had to cut a little notch in this one as well for the switch, so you can access it while it's all down as well. You can see there that the battery pack hides quite neatly inside there, and then the idea of this is that will sit on top of there, completely hidden from view, so that once the wires are brought through, you won't even tell that there's a battery pack there. And then to access it, you've just got to lift this up like so, because we can hide all the extra cable in under here as well, so it gives you some play as well, so you've got areas to play with the cable. So all I'm going to do now is, what you can do is we need to drill a hole through here to put the cables through. So this is where your pin vise comes in. So as you can see here, this is where it all lines up. So I'm going to drill the hole in this little corner just here. So all I'm going to do is punch a hole through there like so, like that, and then all I do to make this hole bigger is put my hobby knife point in the hole like so, and just twist it in there, and you can make it as big as you need it to be. And it just reams out the hole, clean up the back side, and then as you can see there, we've got a hole there that we can slide the cables through. Then once you've done that, you can either solder these, which is what I'm going to do, or what you can do is, once you know which way round they go on the LED, you can trim these off a little bit more and then just wrap them around the right terminals on the LED that you need. You can, it is okay, but it's a dry connection. It won't be a great connection. It will work, but over time it might break, so it is better to solder these if you can, just to double check that the LED is working. We will test that now. So we'll switch this on, and then just like so, we know that the LED is working. So what you can do here is bend these out once you're there, trim these down a little bit more, and just wrap them around the ends and drop a little bit of super glue on them so that they don't move. But I'm going to actually solder these myself, so I'll be back in a minute once I've soldered this. So just so we know that it's working, the battery box on this one's a little bit dodgy, so I've got to just fix the inside of the box there. But all we're going to do is bend that LED at 90 degrees, and then we're just going to glue it up here with a bit of super glue, and on the wires a little bit, and then we're just going to push that up onto the ceiling like that, and then just to get it set, spray a little bit of activator in there and that's it, stuck. So now you've got a working light that you can switch on and off once I've fixed the battery box. But yeah, and that's it. That's how I LED this up, and then obviously you'll hide the cables when you start painting it. So now all we need to do is we need to glue these two boxes together, flat on the desk, and then we're just going to glue the two boxes together like so, and then we'll just spray it with a bit of activator just to get it to set. And there you go, there's the little battery box. So now when we want to hide this, we can, so don't forget you got your hole there for the switch, so you need to make sure that goes in the right place. That's it, that just sit on there, and then over time I like to leave this loose, but what I will probably do is put a bit of blue tack underneath this so I can pull it on and off to change the battery, and then I'll coil up the cable a bit better, but you get the idea. On that box we'll just hide all the cabling and that in there, and then with a little pen or something you can then still switch the light on and off through there. And that is the basics of how I LED up these shops. I keep it really simple just because it's just easier to, I don't like to overcomplicate things basically. So yeah guys, if you don't want to do this, completely skip this step. You can still glue the boxes on top to give it a bit of detail, but we're going to go back to the rest of the build. See you in a bit. So guys, next stage, if you don't want to do any of the LED lighting, just completely skip that last step. I mean, you can still glue the boxes on top to give it a bit of detail, but as you can see here, this is where we're at with the build so far. It's front panel still loose, so you can just slide it on there. This is just purely for painting purposes, so that once we get it all built, we can still access the interior as well. So as you can see there, the LED is working. I've just tacked this down with a little bit of super glue for now. I can break it off later on, which is going to be fine. So I'll just switch that off for now with a little knife. So yeah, next stage is canopies. So we need to work out where the canopies are going to go. So what we're going to do is build them. We're going to follow the instructions as they are. All we're going to do is not glue the back piece on. The canopies are built, as said, like we're leaving the back pieces off. We're still going to need these though, because we're going to cut this top piece off to glue it onto here, which gives us something a bit more substantial to glue on. So we're going to do that now quickly. So all we're going to do is take the clippers, we're going to stick them in there, and we're just going to snip that top piece there. See where I split that there? So what this will do is we can still use this, so throw that in your bits box, and then we're going to glue these onto the top pieces here as they should be in the instructions. So it's just like this is the bit that bolts on, sort of thing. So a bit more plastic glue. Okay, so now that they're dry, we need to somehow fit this. So this now will give you a rough idea on what the basic shape of the shop will be. So that little one's going to go on the side there like so, and then we've got the larger one on the front here. I can't really pick this up obviously because it's not stuck, but what we need to do now is we need to take this front piece and we need to glue this onto there. But first what we need to do is, I don't know if you can see here, but these three bits here stick out further than them, and when we attach that on there, it's not really going to give us a good purchase on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the razor saw, we're going to cut these little bits off here, bring it flush, so that when we glue the canopy onto here, we're gluing it onto all of these sections rather than just those three. So it gives you such a much more stronger bond in the long run. So all we're going to do is, as you can see there, going to line up the blade there, and we're just going to cut down on that piece. Going to cut down on that piece like so, and then the same on this one here as well. We're going to cut them out and down like so, and then we'll just cut that level across here so that you can then give you a greater purchase when you're gluing that on. So I'll be back once I've cut these off. So that is what it's going to look like once you've cut the three little tabs off, and then as you can see now, when we bring these two together, it gives you a much better bond across there. So rather than just 3 contact points, we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 contact points, and as you can see, that's going to look quite nice once that's glued on there. So why not glue it on? Let's glue it on, shall we? But yeah, and that's the front of the shop. So now when this goes on here, and that's all lined up. And that's what the front of the shop looks like. I mean, you could leave it here if you wanted to and not add the one on the side and just have this as a shop. This is what I mean, there's so many different ways you can do this. So now when that stands there, it's a nice little canopy and shop. So now it's on to gluing this one on the, push that on there like so, and then once this is all dry I will strengthen that up with some plastic glue as well. So that's the basic build. So now we're at this stage on the container. Obviously we've got the lights in there as well. This front can still come off, so that's on there. I'm gonna have to strengthen that up because you can see that's a little bit wobbly. I'll be right back once I've put a bit more glue on this and it's all set and it's safe to pick up. See you in a bit. So this is where we're at now. This is the basic build that we saw on the drawing, so now it's down to the fun part of detailing. So as you can see here, we've got the basic shop built. The front is still removable like so that we can paint the interior. And now it's onto the fun part, it's all the detail. So what we're going to start on is we're going to start on detailing up the engine bay. So this is where you need all your little gubbins and things. So what we're going to do with this is I've got the exhaust here for it, and then I need one of the, I've just got it behind me. Oh, I need one of these little control panels as well. So all we need from this is just the top piece. So we're going to cut the legs off of it, but keep the legs, remember, keep everything you clip off. Everything is still usable. We're just going to clean this up a little bit. And then the first thing we're going to do is, this is going to be the control panel for the engine. So we're just literally going to just clean up the edges like so. And then this is going to glue onto the front. And that's it, that's that little detail. Next up we're going to add the exhaust. And I'm going to put the tall exhaust to the front like so. So next up what we're going to do is, I need like a, I know that looks like it's got a few.
I'm not sure.
That's Alexa kicking in. Let me just unplug her quickly. What we're going to do is, I've got one of these water tanks. As I said, I've got another one here that I've already clipped some bits off. I need to clip a few more bits off. There we go, that fits a lot better now. So we're going to go ahead and we'll glue that on there as well. So we're just going to hold that on there while that just grabs it, and then that's the little engine that we're going to have for the container. I'll be back in a bit. So now that's all glued on, this is all finished. So this is how the little generator has ended up. So we've got the computer panel there, we've got the little fuel tank there, and then eventually once this is all painted, because obviously we'll have to leave this off to paint, this will get glued on the side just under there like so, so that it's like a little generator undercover. So it just adds more detail to the shop. So next up what we're going to do is we're going to sort out the door for the actual shop itself, which is nice and simple. It's just basically the leftover piece from the back of the canopy, that's it. So this is literally just going to glue on there like so and just cover that end bit up. So hopefully that should hold, and my finger is glued to it. Oh, it's not gone. I've just glued myself to the box. So what I'll do, I'll quickly glue this on and then I'll be right back. So just the last of the details to go on before we're done. I'm just going to clean up the water tank very quickly because we can glue this on. The other thing I've done is the two pipe ends that I had at the what I showed you at the beginning. We're going to glue those two together. But what we need to do first before we do that is, on this one there's two tabs that are slightly longer than the others. We need to clip the corners off of those like so, and then we're just going to glue those two together because this is going to be like a little sort of chimney for the hut that we're doing, and then that will sit. So on the top of the container here you got this little porthole. That's just going to glue onto the chimney all sorted out. So then it's looking like this. The water butt, I'm going to glue it on the back here. It fits quite nicely. There's no clipping required, which is great. So that's just going to glue that straight on the back. So while that's setting, I'm just going to hold it like so, just so that it glues while I'm talking. So I think I've decided what I'm going to put inside. I think this is just going to be like a basic storage shop. So what I'm actually going to do is, I won't show you how to glue the barrels together because you can follow the instructions for that, but I'm just going to fill this one inside with barrels and storage containers, like so, like these ones. I'll chuck these ones in there. I've got a couple extra there as well for another kit, and this is just going to be like an area where you can buy bulk items, like bulk fuel, bulk whatever ammo in these things and stuff, and fill this up inside, so it's like stacked up inside, which you'll be able to see through the holes and that here. And that is pretty much it, guys. What I'll do is I'll bring the camera down so you can get a better view of this, and we'll talk about it then. So I'll be back in a bit. So guys, that's it. That's the build pretty much complete. As I say, all I've done quickly off camera is I've just added a couple more details. So literally all I've done is on the back there I've just glued 3 of the well, that one's a bit skewiff, doesn't really matter, it's Necromunda, nothing has to be square. I've just glued 3 of the containers on the back of the on the back wall there, and then what I'll do is when I do the painting, I'll paint up some barrels and we'll probably stack them in here as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope this helps you on how to like sort of work out how to do this sort of thing. If it does, let me know. I know I could probably do this video better if once I've had a bit more practice with this, so I might do some more builds later on, like down the line in the future. But yeah, let me know if this has helped you. What I'll do is I'll put this on the turntable so you can see a full 360 of what this looks like at a better angle as well, so you can see the full thing. But guys, hopefully this helps. Part 3 will be where we start painting this. Painting might be in a few steps because I might do like a full tutorial on how to paint and weather this, and then the same on like the canopies and then the actual physical container itself. So guys, yeah, don't forget to watch the 360 video so you get a full view on what this looks like, and hopefully it helped, and I'll see you next time on Tabletop Wargames. Cheers guys. Hi guys, just a quick reminder to say that obviously at the end of the series you can win this container, which is yeah, quite a cool prize I think. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and then more details once this container is finished will be up on how you can win it. But yeah, subscribe to the channel to find out more. See you next time. Don't forget your goggles. I'll see you out in the ash waste. Peace.